Hello and welcome to episode 30 of the Craving Crypto podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about whether cannabis stocks can make you a millionaire. So let's get right into this. Episode 30, can cannabis stocks make you a millionaire? Now, the document is in the description of this video, so if you want to follow along, you can just go ahead and click in the description and open this document up. I highly recommend it as we keep all of our links in here for each episode of the podcast. Now, we're going to get into the cryptocurrency market overview to start with, and then we'll be going into the cannabis stocks. We're going to be talking about why I'm making a video about this and why you guys should be really interested in getting in on this too. I'm actually super excited about what's going on in the cannabis industry and in the cannabis stock world because there's going to be a lot of money to be made, and I want to make sure I can get as many of my VIP members and my free viewers in on this as possible before we really go parabolic in these markets. Now, before we get into that, let's do the market overview for cryptocurrency. So on coinmarketcap.com, you can see that the total market capitalization is at $192,692 million. 24-hour volume is down a little bit from the high volume spikes that we were seeing before the panic, and we're now at about 11 billion in 24-hour volume. The Bitcoin dominance is at 56%, although I still suspect this to make a turnaround, and I don't really suspect this to go much above 60%. If it does get to those levels, it would surprise me quite a bit. Bitcoin is up about 0.01%. Ethereum is bleeding off 5%. Bitcoin Cash is bleeding off 4.8%. And then we have a few coins that are more on the upside, like Red Coin is up 8%. Chainlink is up 5%. And then we have Emmer Coin up 47% today, doing a nice little breakout. If we click on this currently, you can see that this has went through a very, very nice market cycle. If we just take the Bitcoin price away, you'll see a 1-2 wave, and then a 3 and a 4 wave, and then the 5th wave. And now we're doing an ABC correction, so we're just waiting to find the bottom of that C wave. If this is indeed the bottom, then this coin could start another bullish market cycle and begin making higher highs, doing an uptrend. So this is definitely one you want to pay attention to and watch over the next little while. Mainly the volume. If this starts to get in the 10 million range of volume, I'd be really interested in this one specifically. As far as the total market capitalization goes, we've been on a downtrend. Right here is where we were pointing out the possibility of a correction, and then that correction happened. We went about $40 billion more on the downside from the first target that we were expecting, fell through this support level, and now it became a resistance level. And then now we're back at the major support level of 189 billion, looking like we could be making a bit of a double bottom pattern off of this. So it wouldn't surprise me if we rally back up to the resistance levels of 212 over the next week in the total market capitalization. If 189 billion cannot hold as our major support level, 174 is the next good area of support. If you zoom back in the previous of the bull run of 2017, you can see that this was a really, really big area of resistance on the way up. And we suspect that it can be a nice area of support on the way down. So again, if that major support level fails at the $189 billion level, we're likely to test 175. If that fails, we're likely to test this 150 level. These are really, really big chunks of support that will have good bounces when they're reached. So it's about watching those support levels and then making your plans around them. But yeah, things are looking really good on the short term. I don't suspect that this support failure will fail. At least for a week, we should see a nice bounce. And then if this really starts to get back up above the $238 billion level, that would confirm a double bottom move. You can measure the height of the move. So you measure from the low to the high. And then if it does break out of the high of 239, you just place this on top of the point of the breakout, and that will give you your first measurable target. So if we get above 239, we're expecting to see the $287 billion levels as a first measured target from the double bottom formation. So we're just going to have to watch as the price reacts to the support level. Again, I suspect at least some short-term relief from the sell-off to the 212, $215 billion levels, and then we'll kind of watch that area from there and see if we can get significantly above it. But overall, things still look pretty good in the total market capitalization. I have no reason to be super bearish. If Bitcoin breaks bearish out of its consolidation range that we've been watching since February, that would be a little bit of a bad sign, but I'm definitely not panic selling or making huge tether transactions at this period of time. It's still a great spot to be accumulating for the long term and watching for this reversal to take place. So that gives you my update on the crypto markets. Now let's get into the cannabis stocks, because this is super exciting, you guys. I see this as being a similar story as the 2017 cryptocurrency market cycle. A lot of these cannabis stocks are really undervalued. They're being heavily accumulated. So I'm actually going to compare some of them to the cryptocurrency cycles that I've seen in the past, because we do see significant similarities between the two. So let's head over to BitShares right here, and I'll show you how BitShares in the bull run of 2017 got heavily accumulated at around 1 cent and then rallied all the way to 50 cents in this market cycle. It then proceeded to do a correction and then rally again and do another market cycle all the way up to the 90-cent level. We did not quite hit $1 here, but it went through 2 bullish cycles through 2017, and it was due to this really heavy accumulation period causing a bullish impulse. Now, if you look at this accumulation period with volume on, you can see that there's a lot of increasing volume as the price is increasing, which shows that it's being heavily accumulated. Now let's go over to the first ticker symbol of the cannabis stock that we will look at, which is OGRMF. This one is Organogram Holdings. So what we're kind of looking for, or Organogram, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that. What we're looking for is a similar story to what happened in BitShares in the early 2017 cycle. If we compare these, this is heavy accumulation. I see this as being heavy accumulation for this stock as well. You can just point that out very nicely here and see. And if we switch to the volume, you can see that this is having huge volume spikes along the way up, which shows that it's also being heavily accumulated. Now, trading conditions is something that's really important to be aware of as a trader, because the cryptocurrency markets are really low volatility right now. This happens as you near the bottom of corrections, because when you get tighter and tighter inside of a consolidation range, that means that sellers have less opportunity to make money and buyers have less opportunity to make money until you get a clear breakout. So that range that has been making in Bitcoin since 2018 February, when we hit 6,000, then rallied up to 11,000 and then started consolidating. And 6,000 is held as a really strong support level, and then we keep making lower resistance levels along the way. So that's the consolidation range that I'm speaking of. And as we get closer to the bottom of that range, the volatility gets less and less, which means trading conditions provide less profit, which is one of the reasons why it gets harder for me as an analyst who has a lot of followers trading along with my signals to provide as much value in a low volatility area. So this is one of the reasons that I'm super excited about the cannabis industry and why I'm opening this up to you guys and adding it as a part of my channel, because this is highly volatile right now and there's really, really good trading conditions. There's not any consolidation ranges. We're just ramping up to make bullish market cycles and do really big impulse waves. So this is all getting heavily accumulated right here. The volatility is increasing as we go up. If we add the volatility indicator, I use the one by H. Potter. And you can see this line right here is just a steady uptrend of an increasing volatility. I'll go ahead and make this black and a little bit bigger so you guys can see it nice and clear. But it's very awesome and very easy to see that that is just continually increasing in volatility. So there's going to be a lot of money to be made here. There's going to be a lot of money on the upside. And then once we really start to impulse and start hitting Fibonacci extension levels, there'll be a similar story to what we saw here, where we do a correction in cannabis stocks, And then I suspect that they do another rally down the road, similar to the way that the BitShares did. But even if they don't do another rally, you'll be able to short that impulse wave because it'll be very clearly overvalued. So we'll wait for a railroad candlestick, similar to what we saw right here. This is the same candlestick pattern that allowed me to see the exact top of Stellar and Ripple. It's called a bearish engulfing or a railroad candlestick. We look for these big wicks, that's profit-taking wicks, and it's showing that the prices are getting heavily rejected off of that area. It then makes a bull trap and then continues to see panic and further downside as it makes its market cycle, getting accumulated for its next wave up. As you can see, got accumulated and then made a nice bullish market cycle again after that. With these pot stocks, I expect us to see a lot of bullish movement. What's interesting about this is when the impulsing actually starts to happen, it happens in a very short period of time. But cryptocurrency is about 10 to 25 times quicker than the stock market. So when we see the cannabis stock right here, and then we take our tool that measures date and price range, we can measure up and out. And you start to clearly see that even if we do a very quick impulse, we still have about a year, just under a year worth of pumping right here. And it could even pump for longer than that, but the impulse will be nice and extended, whereas the cryptocurrency impulse happened in the period of a couple months. Now, that will be nice for investors because it gives you a little bit more time to make your decisions, to scale out of your trade, and to let the market kind of do its thing. And then once we get that bearish engulfing candlestick, wherever it happens, if it happens up here, if it happens down here, whenever we get that bearish confirmation, we're going to be able to short the market for another couple years. So that will provide a lot of very, very nice shorting opportunities for the bears in this market. And again, it will be a nice extended correction because it's a stock market, so you're expecting this to be a longer correction than what happens in the cryptocurrency markets. Either way, this is early on in its market cycle. I would consider this to be the first sell-off of its market cycle. So the media should start really covering this a lot over the next year, and the prices should be rallying along with it. There's a lot of similarities to the cannabis industry and the cryptocurrency industry. There's concerns of regulation. It's still heavily underdeveloped. It's very, very new. It's highly volatile. There's a lot of similarities, which is actually highly attractive for traders and even investors, because when you have a lot of volatility, there's a lot of opportunity for profiting off that volatility. So this is, again, another one of those reasons I'm highly excited about the cannabis industry for the next year, and especially cannabis stocks. If you don't have any sort of a stock trading account, it's actually really easy to get set up with one. You just have to type in some personal information. It's not going to be as easy as signing up for a cryptocurrency exchange, which will take you 10-15 minutes. But if you guys want me to make more detailed videos about that down the road, I can, but it is pretty straightforward to get set up with a broker and start purchasing some stocks in the US stock exchange. It really isn't that hard, but it does take a little bit more personal information than cryptocurrency does. But if you guys, have the opportunity to make similar profits as what we saw in the cryptocurrency markets with a little bit more of a manageable timing, meaning that this will be a little bit slower so you can take your time to make your trading decisions with it, then I really see this as a huge opportunity that you really should not be looking past. Just take that few minutes to sign up for your account and start investing in this. I mean, think of everything that you learned in cryptocurrency and how you can apply all of that to trading these, and you're trading with a nice trend. Whereas the crypto markets, we're waiting for a trend reversal. This is already in a very clear bullish trend. So the trend is your friend. It's going to be on your side in this market. It'll be really easy to trade it. So you can take your lessons that you learned from cryptocurrency trading and apply them here. Maybe you can even recover on some of the losses from the 2018 correction in the crypto markets. If we go over to Cron right here, this is another ticker symbol. It's a Chronos Group Incorporated. I'm on 3-day candlesticks, and you can see another extremely similar pattern to those early days of BitShares, these heavily accumulated areas in the chart. We could even be in an area like this, where it's really early on in its cycle, maybe a little bit more like this, where we're in the first sell-off of a bigger cycle. But it's possible for us to even be as early as this type of accumulation in its market cycle for cannabis stocks. So we're just going to be watching over the next year. We're definitely going to get a nice impulse like this and a correction. So if you want to get set up doing this and you really want to get hands-on trading some of these cannabis stocks, go ahead, get signed up for a stock exchange. Just do a quick Google search, make sure it's got good reviews, get your account set up, start buying a little bit. But overall, I'm actually really excited about this. Going to be making more videos on how to do it, how to set your stop losses, how to accumulate some of these stocks, and play these ones specifically aside from my cryptocurrency and investing videos. So watch out for those. I'll make a little playlist for them so that you can distinguish between the two. But I really want to open this up and help other people make money along this with me, because again, this is going to be very similar to the 2017 cryptocurrency markets. So there's a lot of money to be made over the next couple of years in these cannabis stocks, and I don't want you guys to be missing out on that. So my question is from Sarah. She asks, what exchange allows for a trailing stop loss? I know for a fact that Bitstamp allows you to do trailing stop losses, but I wanted to touch on this a little bit because I actually do not use a trailing stop loss function. I manually trail my stop losses. So when I brought this up in the video the other day, I was actually using a manual trail. So I use an alert on my phone. I have TradingView text me when it hits a certain price. When it hits that price, I set my stop loss 50% down from wherever my target and then wherever the price is currently. I'll just set it down halfway through. So the idea behind that is I'm trailing my stop loss. I have personal control over it. I'm not using an algorithm. Just gives me a lot more control and allows me to be more specific with my stop losses. So I hope that answers your question. It's really easy to do it manually. Not everybody probably wants to do that, but I found it to be the most effective for me personally. So the coin cap chart right here, if you want to look at the technical analysis for the week, we've got Coinigy. If you want to do technical analysis on altcoins, you can do your charting here. BitMEX if you want to do leverage trading on Bitcoin and some of the altcoins. Don't recommend that for beginners. My Bitcoin address, if you like what I'm doing, go ahead and send some donations that way. And then my VIP course and signals, if you're interested in that, the link is right here too. Thank you so much for tuning in today's video. I know that it's a little bit different than the cryptocurrency investing that we've been doing, but I see a lot of potential here in the cannabis stocks. They remind me a lot of the 2017 crypto markets, so I'm trying to get as many people in on these while they're really cheap as I can. So going to be making more videos about this down the road. Hopefully you guys enjoy them. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. As always, stay profitable out there.